Hello YouTube and welcome to Synthetic Oil Info. My name is Tom Brown and in this video we're going to talk about AMSOIL's engine and transmission flush. There's a shot of the bottle. This 16-ounce bottle contains a fluid that AMSOIL has developed to go into your engine or automatic transmission to clean out all of the sludge and crud and varnish and anything else that might be in that engine as you prepare to switch over to running AMSOIL's synthetic oils and transmission fluids, or even if you're not, if you just have an engine that you want to clean out really well, or you have a transmission that you want to clean out, maybe that engine or transmission didn't get the changes of fluid or oil like it was supposed to over its life. Maybe you've got some sticking ring problems, or you've got a noisy lifter in there that has collapsed a little bit, and it's just full of sludge. And needs to get cleaned out so it can start working properly again. Then just try AMSOIL engine and transmission flush. Very simple to use, especially for the engine. You just add it to the oil before you change. So you've still got your old oil in the engine. You dump in this 16-ounce bottle of engine and transmission flush to your engine oil crankcase, just like you were going to add oil. And let the engine sit there and idle for about 15 minutes. And I would recommend that you do it, add it to the engine after the engine has already warmed up, and then start counting the 15 minutes. Because if you add it while the oil is still cold, as the engine is warming up, it's just not going to have an opportunity to work as well, because there's a lot of the pieces of the sludge and varnish and wax and things that are in the oil that is causing some of that problems in the engine, that when they get brought up to full operating temperature, it gives the engine and transmission flush chemicals a much greater chance to loosen them up all the way and allow them to flow down and get caught in the oil filter or drain to the bottom of the oil pan, so that when you pull the drain plug out, when you're done with the 15-minute flushing, then as much as possible, all of those contaminants and sludge and varnish and crud and stuff will drain out of the engine. And so then when you get ready to put in your new oil, hopefully you're putting in AMSOIL synthetic oil, that new oil and new filter are going in there, and they're going to have what I call a fair chance to work the way they are intended to work. Now, if you there is another route that you can take when you're switching an engine over to synthetic oils, especially including AMSOIL. If you don't flush them before you switch over, then you just need to be prepared to change that oil and filter, especially the oil filter, a little more frequently at first, because that high detergent synthetic oil is going to go in there, and it's going to loosen up that sludge and crud and varnish and stuff that's in that engine. And that stuff is going to end up in your oil filter, especially if you have one of AMSOIL's EA absolute efficiency oil filters that does a really good job of catching smaller particles of dirt than regular oil filters do. Even that EA filter that has additional dirt holding capacity. That's why they're able to run longer. But even if you have an EA filter on there, if you did not flush the engine first, then you're greatly increasing the chances that that filter is going to plug up sooner than the recommended change interval. And then the filter is just going to go into bypass mode. And it's going to continue to allow oil to flow through the engine of your car, but it's going to do so unfiltered. Under the philosophy of some oil, even dirty oil, is better than no oil. Your engine will still run just fine. It's just that it's not getting, the oil is not getting filtered. So do yourself a favor before you switch over from a conventional oil to a synthetic, and dump in a bottle of flush, AMSOIL engine and transmission flush. There's that bottle again. And take that 15 minutes, and let that engine and transmission flush chemicals go in there and dissolve and loosen up all that crud. Now, on an automatic transmission, it's a little bit different and a little more complicated, but the concept is the same. If you've been running a conventional transmission fluid in your automatic transmission, especially if this transmission has not had the oil changed in it like it's supposed to, or you've done a lot of towing with it, or it's gotten overheated, then that conventional fluid that's in there has broken down and it has left behind varnish and other contaminants that are sticking to the sides of that automatic transmission, and they are also plugging up or reducing the size of some of the critical oil passageways inside that transmission, and they're causing some of the valves in the valve body to not shift or not move correctly. And so what this engine and transmission flush will do is go in there just like it did in your engine, and it will dissolve and eat up those that varnish and those that sludge that is inside your transmission, and then it will end up down in your transmission oil pan, so that when you drop that pan and change that filter, then as many of those contaminants and varnish and stuff as possible is down there in your oil pan of the transmission. However, the challenge on an automatic transmission is always that more than half of the oil that is in that automatic transmission fluid doesn't come out when you pull the pan off or when you pull the drain plug out of the transmission. Greater than 50% of that oil is stuck up in the torque converter or in the lines going to the oil cooler or in the other parts of the transmission. And so that is why when you go into these automotive repair shops and transmission shops and quick lube places, one of the services that they will always offer is a transmission fluid flush or transmission fluid exchange. That is a very good thing in most cases, because what it allows you to do is get all of the old transmission fluid out of your transmission and refill it completely with a new transmission, clean transmission fluid. If you are installing a top quality synthetic transmission fluid like AMSOIL's Signature Series or Original Equipment Series synthetic transmission fluid, even better. You're really going to do your transmission a big favor by installing that synthetic transmission fluid in there. Your transmission is going to last a lot longer, and it's going to run cooler and shift better. But if you add the engine and transmission flush to the old transmission fluid before you change it, you have to do the complete fluid exchange. You can't just drop the pan and get out whatever was in the transmission pan. You've got to go ahead and do the complete flush. So be careful before you add it to your transmission that you know and understand what has to be done there, and that you have the equipment available to do that exchange of that transmission fluid. It's not a complicated procedure, but on some vehicles it is difficult to get to the hoses or to get to the connections that allow you to do that. So make sure you understand what you're getting into before you dump this into your transmission. I would hate to see you dump it in there and then realize, oh no, I can't get to the required connections on here, and it ends up that this engine and transmission flush stays in your transmission too long. And it is a strong detergent. It is a strong cleaner. And so if you leave it in there too long, it could conceivably do some damage to your clutches if you left it in there too long and drive with it. It's not intended to be driven in your transmission. You can go ahead and shift through all the gears as it is in there while you're idling your engine. That way all those passageways and all those pistons and valves and everything in your valve body open up and allow the engine and transmission flush chemical to move through the entire transmission but it is not intended for you to drive the vehicle and put that much stress and load on the transmission while that chemical cleaner is in there. So that's it for the engine and transmission flush. If you have any questions about it, please contact us. Please post your questions or comments below here on YouTube. We're also over on Facebook under Synthetic Oil Info. Our website is minutemanperformance.com. Our email is info@minutemanperformance.com. Again, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us here on YouTube. That helps us get seen by more people, and we are here to help you solve your most difficult and challenging oil, lubrication, and filtration questions. So feel free to post any of those questions or comments here, or email or Facebook, however you want to get in touch with us. And you go to our website, minutemanperformance.com. It's going to link you straight to the AMSOIL corporate website where you can purchase your AMSOIL products. If you're going to purchase more than $100 of AMSOIL products in a year, I strongly encourage you to become a preferred customer of AMSOIL. You can add that preferred customer membership directly to your shopping cart when you check out with your first order, and that will save you about 20% on the items that you purchase in that first order, and any products that you purchase within either the 6-month or the 1-year membership period, depending on which one you purchase. And don't forget, you can also purchase Agran fertilizer and Ultram vitamin products with your preferred customer membership as well. You can go to those respective websites once you establish your account with AMSOIL and sign in there and get the same discount. So take full advantage of your preferred customer status. That's it for now. Again, my name is Tom Brown. This is Synthetic Oil Info, and we'll see you on the next video.